All right, guys. Javid here. I wanted to do just a real quick pre-holiday spiel that I like to do each year, and I will put this on my Facebook page. A lot of people may not know this, but up until the age of 27, I was 185 pounds. I stand 6'3", so I'm a tall guy, and all of a sudden I got on a medication. I can't say the name of it. I won't say the name of it, but I took it for about 3 years. During that 3 year period, I went from 185, 6'3", I went to 476 pounds and almost died. So almost hit 500, almost died. It was to the point where I was losing my oxygen 20, 30 times a day during the day and then 200 or 300 times during the night. So I was literally dying. I had to be rushed to the hospital several times. The paramedics had to come and breathed for me several times. It was a very, very scary time in my life. I would literally be sitting here or standing here, like I'd get up out of my chair and I'd walk, and all of a sudden I would just fall asleep. I didn't realize I wasn't falling asleep. I was passing out from lack of oxygen. So, long story short, you can lose the weight. I did. I'll show y'all, guys. I'm not joking. I literally went from 476 pounds, about a 61-inch waist. I'm back down to a 36-inch waist, 6'3", 200, 210 pounds maximum. I fluctuate between 210 and 195. That's I've been fluctuating like that for about a year now, but not going over 220. Like that's the maximum I get. And most people say when I fall below 220 that I start looking too gaunt in the face. So that's kind of why I like to keep it at about 215. So you can do it. It is a matter of eating. It is a matter of controlling what you eat. It is a matter of caloric intake versus caloric output. It can't be any simpler than that. Whatever calories you're putting in your body, you're going to have some activity on a daily basis that's going to burn at least that many calories so that you don't gain any weight. And if you want to lose weight, you're going to have to burn more than the calories that you've eaten. That's as simple as it gets, right? And when you look at it that way, you can eat whatever you want to eat. Like if you want to eat candy. But know that if you eat 800 calories from a candy, you're going to have to burn that 800 calories. And it's not, everybody says it's so difficult. I talk to so many guys too. It's not a woman thing. I find women are more motivated, it seems like, to lose their weight and to look good. But men are starting to get on board with it. Um, but there's really no excuses because this is your life, right? And that's where you have to get. And everybody says, well, the person has to individually get to that place where they're wanting to do it. This isn't a matter of wanting. You have to start facing this like a life and death situation because it is. Understand, I'm not trying to be, dramatic, but I am. Because I literally stood up in 2014. I stood up from my recliner, 400, probably still about 450. I had lost a little bit of weight, about 450 head to head. Major reconstructive surgery all through my face, my nose, my mouth, my throat, my airways, everything, tubes in the ears, had to have all this stuff reconstructed. 18-hour surgery, plastic surgeons. Because they had to cut all that dead tissue and stuff out of there that had died from lack of oxygen and just terrible. I stood up. It had been like a year and I had only lost like 20 pounds. I stood up off of my recliner and I just said it really loudly and my family heard it. I said, I'm going to die. I said, I'm going to die. And I would start crying hysterically. This is in 2014, right before the holidays. Never forget it. Starting to get cool outside. I think it was October or early November like it is now. And I stood up and my uncle started crying too, and so did my mom, and so did a couple of cousins. They were like, don't say that, Javid. You're not going to die. The doctors are helping you and you're taking your medicines and you're using your sleep apnea machine and you've lost 25 pounds this year. My blood pressure it was really weird though because my blood pressures and stuff like that weren't too bad at that size and I had no cholesterol to speak of. It was just, I couldn't control my mouth. Like I would get one mountain of food on a plate, okay? And I would go right back after I finished that mountain of food and I would get another mountain of food. Okay, and this was long after I stopped taking that medication. So even though it caused the abnormal cravings of the foods, especially sweet foods like cakes, cupcakes, I could eat a whole carrot cake, like a whole sheet carrot cake by myself, no problem. And this was like 240 pounds, like is when I started eating like that. Like I started eating pretty bad before that. From 195 up to 240 was not good eating, obviously. But that's when the medicine had really started taking an effect on my metabolism. But long story short, it got to life and death for me. And it should be in your mind if you are obese right now, if you're morbidly obese, and you're facing the holidays again in that same morbidly obese body, do it for your family. Do it for your loved ones. Do it for that special person in your life. Or if you're a single person like I am, do it for yourself. Okay? This is one life that we know for sure we have to live. Everybody talks about reincarnation or how you can come back and do it again, blah, blah, blah. Well, until they prove that, until we see, scientific, irrefutable evidence of that, this is your one time. And you don't want to spend even another day of not doing anything about it. Because it is life and death. And until you get it in your mind, until I got it in my mind, I like to talk in the first person, until I got it in my mind that if I didn't stop overeating and I didn't get up off my recliner, put my tennis shoes on, put whatever shoes I had on, there was a big excuse of I didn't have the right clothes to go walk in or work out in. I put that aside. When it becomes life and death, you will be surprised at what you will put on to go out there and walk. And when I say walk, I didn't walk. When I first started walking, I was 450 pounds. I could barely walk a mile. Like when I first started walking a couple of blocks in my neighborhood. That grew to walking down to the Veterans Park, a block away. That's not even a half a mile. And back. So it was a mile a day. Man, when I got up to a mile a day, I was, I'm doing something right. Then all of a sudden, within 1 year, I had dropped 100 pounds. Really, really good weight loss of 10, 12 pounds a month. A healthy weight loss. And oh my God, that's when the walking took off. And I hit 15 miles a day usually. And it's been that way for at least 8 years that I walk at least 10 to 15 miles every day. Minimum 10 miles. I don't do less than 10. Today, I take that back. I made myself a liar. Today I did 7 miles, but yesterday I did 14. So, it kind of balances out, but you look at the calories that you've expended. There's a great program called Fit by Google. It tells you how many calories you burnt, and then you think about how many calories you ate that day. If you ate 1,500 calories and you burnt 2,500 calories, guess what? You're going to lose some weight. I got news for y'all. People that come home from the gym and take their shower, whatever, and drop and get on that scale to see if they lost weight while they were in the gym. That's not how it works. You respirate most of the fat particles out. You breathe it out. Okay? And so that's how you lose weight, is when you're sleeping at night and you're respirating. That's how weight comes off of you. I mean, yes, it comes off in other ways too, but I'm just saying you're not going to see it immediately when you come home, right? You're going to have to wait till that next day or even a couple days after that to where you start seeing it register. So be patient, take it one day at a time, and do it for yourself. If being motivated for your loved ones is not enough to save your life for them, then do it for yourself because you owe it to yourself. You're a beautiful person no matter. God made us all in different shapes and sizes, and it's not about shape and size. It's about if you're going to be around an additional 25 years for your children, for your family. And that's what we have to start putting in our mind. That's what I had to do. I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, is this really fair to my family? And that's what, is this fair to me? No, it wasn't. So just hang in there. You can do it. Make it tomorrow you're going to get out and do it. God bless. Take care.